This is a review for GE dehumidifiers. Specifically, we have the 45 pint model on the table here today. Let's jump right into what we like and dislike about this unit. First of all, we do like the high moisture removal rate on this 45 pint unit specifically. 45 pints of moisture removal per day is a high amount of moisture removal. So this unit is going to be able to dehumidify very fast. It is going to be able to be used in very large rooms, and it is also going to be able to be used in very severe humidity conditions. So we definitely like the high moisture removal rate for this 45 pint unit. The second thing that we like about this unit is the fact that it is ENERGY STAR certified. With that certification, you can be assured that this unit does provide very good energy efficiency for a high capacity compressor-based humidifier. We also like the fact that this unit does have a large water collection bucket. The unit collects moisture in here, and all of it collects in the bucket on the front and the bottom down here. That bucket size on this unit is 15 pints. For many other high capacity units on the market, the capacity of the bucket down here is closer to 14 pints, maybe even as small as 13 pints. So the capacity does go quite a bit lower than the capacity for this unit. And we definitely like the fact that this unit's water tank is larger than average at 15 pints. Now there are units on the market that do have larger tanks, but this unit's tank at 15 pints of capacity is above average in terms of its size. On the negative side of things, we have to once again go back to the unit's capacity. While the capacity is high compared to 35 pint units compared to 22 pint units, it is a little bit lower than most other high capacity units on the market. Most of their high capacity units have a capacity of 50 pints per day of moisture removal, so you get that extra 5 pints per day of moisture removal with those units. Now, if this unit were priced lower than it is, then this wouldn't be much of a complaint here. Clearly, if you get less moisture removal rate, but you also pay less, that's not that much of an issue. However, with this unit, it is priced right alongside units that offer 50 pints per day of moisture removal. Many times, it is also priced higher than other units that offer 50 pints per day of moisture removal. So the fact that this unit is at that 45 pint per day level compared to the 50 pint per day level at its current price, at least at the time of this review, that is an issue there for us as one negative for this unit. We also don't like the noise output on this unit. Now, all of these compressor-based dehumidifiers obviously have a compressor in there, and the compressor makes a different amount of noise depending on the particular model. With this particular GE model, we did notice quite a bit of more compressor noise than we did with many other 50 pint units that we tested. Now, all of the units that we tested did emit some level of compressor noise there, so it's not like you can completely eliminate it with a 50 pint unit. However, this unit was definitely louder than those other units that we tested. So it is on the louder side there, and that is definitely something to be aware of if you are sensitive to the noise output of the unit, or if you were to use it in a room where it's going to be right alongside you in a living space. Now, if you were to use it in a basement where you're not going to be around it much, obviously this is going to be less of a concern for you. However, do be aware that the unit does have a higher compressor noise than most other high capacity units on the market. We also don't like the way that gravity drainage is set up on this unit. Now, it shares a similar setup to the Hisense unit that we also tested, in which you have to remove the front bucket here. And after you remove the bucket, you'll see a drain outlet on the bottom of the unit there inside of it. And what you have to do is you have to open a door on the side of the unit. There's a small little bracket that you open there, and then you feed the garden hose through that door on the side of the unit, and then you connect it to the drain outlet inside of the unit here behind the bucket. Now, that type of connection is quite a bit more difficult than it is with most other 50 pint units on the market. Many other units allow you to simply connect to the back of the unit. There's a drain outlet there that's easily accessed on the back of the unit. You simply disconnect the cover there for the drain outlet, and then you connect your garden hose right there. So those units, it's very easy to set them up for gravity drainage. With this GE unit, with the Hisense unit that we tested, again, you have to remove the front bucket, you have to reach up awkwardly inside, you have to feed the hose through. There's a lot more going on there to connect it. Now, the thing is that many users do only connect a hose once, and then they may continue to have that hose connected for the duration of the unit's life. So it's not that big of a deal for those users. However, if you do plan on moving the unit around a lot, if you do plan on maybe going from collecting moisture in the bucket in here and then going to gravity drainage, on and off, if you're doing that often, that's definitely something to be aware of, that the process of connecting a hose with this unit is more difficult than it is with many other 50 pint units on the market. We also didn't like the below average build quality on this unit. Now, we tested quite a few dehumidifiers, and all of them have some level of build quality there. It's a little bit difficult to assess, but you definitely do get a good idea of how they compare when you compare them side by side. This particular unit is definitely one of the lower quality units that we tested. Just generally, there's all kinds of different features on this unit, different parts on this unit, where the comparable part on another unit is of a higher quality. That's the simplest way to put it. The bucket itself, it's a very low quality bucket. The plastics used, they're low quality plastics. The filter used on this unit is also of a lower quality. Just all around, the quality of the materials, the parts used here on this GE unit is unfortunately quite a bit lower than the quality of comparable parts and materials on many other units that we tested. Finally, we should also just mention quickly the timer on this unit. Most units on the market do offer some type of delayed start and delayed stop, and you can set the timer all the way up to 24 hours in half-hour increments up to maybe 10 hours, and then 1 hour increments past 10 hours up to 24 hours. That's about the industry standard there. With this unit, you can only set it to a delayed stop, and you can only set it to a 2-hour delayed stop or a 4-hour delayed stop. So you are very limited with the timer on this unit. Again, this may not apply to many users. You may not use the timer at all, but if you are somebody that is going to use the timer on your dehumidifier, definitely be aware that there is much more limited functionality with this particular GE unit than there is with many other comparable units on the market. So in addition to this particular 45 pint model, there are also 2 other comparable models on the market also manufactured by GE. There is a 30 pint model and there is a 20 pint model available. Now, those smaller models are very similar to this one in terms of build quality, in terms of design. They share many similarities to this particular unit. Now, when it comes to the 30 pint version of this particular model, when it comes to the 20 pint version of this particular model, the biggest complaint we have with those smaller units is the same complaint we mentioned when we started off listing the negatives for this particular GE unit. And that is the fact that those units are priced similar to units that have slightly more capacity. So what do we mean by that? Well, we said with this 45 pint unit, it is priced similar to 50 pint units. So you lose 5 pints per day of moisture removal with this unit compared to similarly priced units. With the 30 pint model, you have the same issue there. The 30 pint model is priced similarly to 35 pint units. So most medium capacity units on the market, they offer 35 pints per day of moisture removal. The GE medium capacity unit here that's comparable here, it offers only 30 pints per day of moisture removal, but at approximately the same price as those 35 pint models. So again, you lose value there because you're losing 5 pints per day compared to comparable models. With the 20 pint unit, you again have the same issue. Most small capacity, most low capacity units on the market, they offer at least 22 pints of moisture removal per day. With the GE unit, you get 20 pints per day of moisture removal. So again, you have less moisture removal capacity there at approximately the same price compared to comparable units. So that is really the biggest complaint we have here with the GE units. Now, in terms of our general recommendation for this 45 pint model specifically, again, the value is a concern there, just like it was for the 30 and the 20 pint model. This model specifically also has that loud compressor going on. It has the below average build quality. It has the limited timer functionality. We didn't even mention the fact that the unit also had some type of a smell when we first plugged it in, when we first started using it. And that is something we didn't experience with other units. So there is quite a bit of off-gassing going on here with the plastics on this unit compared to many of the other units that we tested. We expect that smell to go away over time, but definitely something we can mention here again. So all in all, when it comes to all of the negatives for this unit, they're just not enough to offset the positives in terms of recommendation. So our bottom line recommendation here is that we generally cannot recommend this particular GE unit at this time. We will have a list of recommended options in the description to this video.